scared. Kind of losing it.
I should wash her.
Cassie? Is this okay?
Yes.
And somewhere in that tender moment, their hearts quietly connected. But good times never last long. The next day, it was time to say goodbye. As the only newlyweds in the unit, their teammates gently lifted Cassie toward Luke. And in front of everyone, they shared one last farewell kiss. Just a few months earlier, Luke had been drawn to Cassie's stunning beauty, but he was too shy to approach her, so he just ordered a Coke.
Okay, my kind of guy.
Hell yeah. Could you throw in some lemon slices with that?
How about you pace yourself, bro?
After a brief chat, his friends assumed Cassie liked him back, but her friend Frankie quickly said no way. Cassie wasn't exactly a fan of American soldiers. The guys couldn't understand why. So when Cassie came over with drinks, one of them teased her right away.
They were good enough to fight for your ass, but not good enough to touch it.
Excuse me?
Okay, I'll excuse you.
Cassie's face dropped and she turned to leave. Luke knew his teammate had crossed a line, so he followed her to apologize. But Cassie ignored him. Luke didn't know what else to say. All he could do was awkwardly explain that he wasn't like the others.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because your friend is talking about his right to touch my ass. Apparently you also feel entitled to. Which you can't touch, but you can kiss.
And just like that, their first meeting ended in a misunderstanding. Little did Cassie know that this man would completely change her life. A few mornings later, Cassie showed up to meet Frankie, but fate had other plans. She ran into Luke again, wanting to avoid more drama. She went straight to Frankie and shared her real reason for coming.
I was hoping that you might marry me.
What?
I'm serious.
Frankie laughed in shock, but quickly went quiet. Cassie had diabetes. She needed insulin every day to stay alive. But when she went to refill her meds, the pharmacy told her insurance had lapsed. Now she'd have to pay full price, which she simply couldn't afford. With no better options, Cassie had stopped her treatment. That's when she noticed the Marine Corps logo and remembered what her best friend once said.
He told me that I should reconsider my stance on men because if I marry him, I would get incredible health insurance.
Cassie wanted to marry a soldier, just to get access to military healthcare. But right at that moment, Luke walked in and told her Frankie already had a girlfriend. There was no way he'd let her go through with it. With no other choice, Cassie walked away in disappointment. But seeing her like that, Luke felt something shift. He decided to step in and help. And so, they met for the third time. Luke promised her he'd file for divorce once he returned from duty. But until then, no one could know their marriage was fake. Otherwise, they could both go to jail.
So are we out of if territory? Are we doing this?
Yeah.
The next morning, Luke showed up in uniform outside Cassie's building. They were going to register the marriage and take wedding photos, but Cassie showed up in her plain clothes.
No.
What?
You can't wear that.
Why?
Because we're taking wedding photos. You have to dress a certain way.
Really?
Luke had to go upstairs himself to make sure she got dressed properly.
Hi.
Sorry.
Hello, my prince.
When Cassie finally appeared, her simple yet elegant look left Luke stunned. Soon after, they arrived at the church, and just like that, under the pastor's blessing, they were officially married.